as the nature boy would say. Straighten out my hat. Welcome, everybody, to the Thursday edition of the Off Base Podcast, the podcast carefully crafted to remind you to suck a fat one if you think you're the only one, because you're not. I'm your host. I'm the Rocky Mountain no-name Jackass, and it's 39 degrees in the city of Aurora at 7:53 in the a.m. on Thursday, March 24th, 2022. Let's get the show on the road, eh? There we go. Let's get this bit going. Okay, here we go. So, I kind of feel bad this morning, kind of don't. Something that just happened, right when we're about ready to drop the olders off. So, one of the things that our family says semi-often, particularly with my son, who will get an idea in his head and just talk. Or if he's like playing Minecraft on my phone, and he'll just start describing what he's doing, and it's particularly if we're in the car, one of us will eventually say something to the effect of, "Hey, son, can you say those things in your head?" Because we don't want to hear them, you know? It's rather annoying. So my stepdaughter, who was hysterical this morning in all kinds of different ways, she read the weather report, which is always funny when she does that. I love that. She was just in general in a good mood. And she's playing a game on her phone called Terrarium, in which she's, I don't know, buying plants or selling plants or building plants. Some game that has to do with plants and oxygen levels. I don't know what the fuck it is. So she started to get locked into some things. She was like, "Oh, I can buy this for this much, and I can buy this for this much, and I can buy this for this much." She must have rattled off like 15 different plants that she could buy for however much they were selling for. And after the 15th one, I was like, "Hey, can you just say those in your head?" Now, what I thought was an innocuous comment, but then for some reason, she just clammed up and then went into teenage pouting, feelings hurt mode. So I said, within 5-10 seconds, I was like, "Hey man, are you all right?" And she just went, "Yeah," just short and dismissive. And then 5-10 seconds later, I said, "Hey, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings," because I wasn't expecting her to have that reaction. And then for the rest of the ride, which was only about 5 more minutes, she just clammed up, didn't say anything, didn't look at me. So I'm like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, what the hell?" Everything else just kind of rolls off of her, but then for some reason that comment didn't. It was odd. And one of the things that I hate is when kids get out of the car in a bad mood, when they leave the car in a bad mood. Because the morning was going great. We were having a nice conversation, funny stuff, maybe poking a little fun at each other, which is fine. I don't know, am I the only one? Are there other parents out there that have situations like that? Where the teenager, not even the teenager, because adults do it too. Something is said and then all of a sudden your feelings get hurt. Well, I apologize. I even said to her as well, I was like, "Look," because we were about 3 minutes away, I said, "Hey, if you've got something that you need to say, just get it out before we get to school." Nope, doesn't get it out. But I did my part. I apologized. Trying to set the good example of how those kinds of conflicts get resolved. But other than that, things were definitely in a good mood this morning. And last night as well. My wife returned to work after being out of the office, going with my stepson on his trip to New York City so that his band at school could play at Carnegie Hall. And she sent me a text. Sent me a text early in the day saying, no matter what happens, I'm getting out of here by 6. And in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, right. Because sometimes, she goes in at 7 and sometimes doesn't come home till 7, 8, 9, which is understandable. It's perfectly fine. I got no complaints about it. She is the medical group commander. She is in charge of the medical group on the base. So it's like, hey, if you need to work late so that the people who are working for you feel supported and want to come back and do the same thing again tomorrow, you stay late. That's how it is, man. Especially with younger kids. She's going to be 50 this year. My wife's going to be 50. And if she can set a tone, a culture, where the people that are working for her know that she's got their back, then I am going to, without a doubt, support that. That's a good thing. So, anyway, to go back to the story, when she actually showed up a little bit after 6, I was like, yeah, man, way to go. She got out of there at 6 o'clock. And we were able to enjoy a nice dinner together, all of us. We had a couple drinks. Looking forward to this lovely weekend that is approaching. We're supposed to have highs in the mid-70s on Saturday and Sunday. So we're thinking about doing a shrimp boil out back. I fucking love shrimp boils, man. They are the best. The best, Jerry. The best. So stepson and I, we are in transition week, our 3rd transition week here in phase 3 of our workout plan, year-long, annual. So today we have the Asylum Fit Test that we'll be doing, and then Saturday we're doing the Air Force Fit Test. So I think right after the Air Force Fit Test, we're going to get that shrimp boil going, man. Hell yeah, son. Ain't even playing. Know what I mean? So I did a Murph. I talked about it. I think I talked about it yesterday. I did a Murph on Tuesday night. Today's Thursday now. Still a little bit sore in my, what the hell do you call this muscle? I'm feeling it right now. You guys can't see it. It's not the quad. It's not the hamstring. It's the one that's in between on the inside of the legs. And it's not the groin either. It's a little bit further down. But anyway, those muscles got pretty well worked in my Murph, and that's really the only thing on me that's sore. I think I mentioned that I reduced my speed big time when I was doing the run, and as a result, I feel so much better while also burning, similar amounts of calories. Do I need to be able to, run at 7-8 miles per hour at my age? Not really. Again, all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get a good workout, burn the calories, so that my body can look good. I don't need to be able to sprint as fast as I did when I was 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. Unless, of course, I'm being chased by the zombies. Then sprinting has to come into play. And hopefully, down the road, I'll work up to that, where I'm doing more high-intensity movements. But for the most part, in order to get shredded, at least as far as I've been watching and reading on the tube of you, all it takes is burning calories, staying active, making sure that I'm using up more than I am taking in. Well, that was a nice car that just drove by. It was like a green Ferrari. It wasn't a Ferrari, but it was a sports car. It looked good. So, we got the Asylum Fit Test today, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to beating some of my prior records. Not records, but just measurements. It's a really good fit test. All the way around, total body fit test. Doing those shoulder taps, moving push-ups, and bear crawls, as well as jumps as well. It's a great total body workout. Looking forward to it. I haven't yet decided what I'm going to make for dinner tonight. I usually have some set items that we do. Like on Sundays, I try to do a seafood. We'll be doing seafood on Saturday though. Try to do seafood on the weekends. Mondays are typically a chicken dish. Tuesdays are tacos. Wednesdays are burgers. Thursdays can fluctuate. I've been alternating between just getting a rotisserie chicken and chili. And this week isn't a chili week, but I don't know if I want to go get a rotisserie chicken because I had a ton of meat in the freezer. Might do pork chops. Yeah. We do some pork chops. Because as I'm finding out, I've been eating more pork as of late. It is the other white meat, and it's been fucking delicious. Just searing it on the griddle that I have, and then put it in the oven at 425 for about 5-8 minutes. Fucking comes out fantastic, delicious. So I think I'll defrost the pork chops. Plus, it's cheap. It is fucking cheap, dog. You know what I'm saying? So as I get closer and closer to phase 4 of our workout, the diet is going to become a huge component because I have to make sure that I am restricting calories compared to what I'm doing right now. I'm taking in anywhere between 2,000 and 2,500 calories per day right now because I'm trying to put muscle on. So when we go to shave the fat, to shred, I have to cut down on a little bit on the just in general, I'll cut down on all the calories that I'm taking in. Right now I'm averaging about 200 grams of protein per day, and that's going to come down to about 150, 140 when I start to shred, so that hopefully I'm taking in about 1,800 per day. Right now, like I said, 2,000 to 2,500, and we'll see how active I can get. In order to earn my drink that I had yesterday, because I wanted to have a drink with my wife. She came home early. We didn't have any ginger beer in the house. And one of the drinks that I love to drink is the Moscow Mule. It's fucking fantastic. Vodka, lime juice, ginger beer. And Fever Tree, that company makes a light ginger beer that only has 38 calories per bottle. It's about 8-9 grams of carbs. So in order to earn that, I stayed active and I walked to the commissary and back. It's about 30 minutes to and fro. So I like that I stayed a little active yesterday, even though I didn't have a workout. Because eventually, once I get to phase 4 of our workout plan, that's what I'm going to need to be doing, is trying to get in 10,000 steps every day. Now, 2 miles is not 10,000 steps. It's about 5,000 steps. But, yeah. If I can get 10,000 steps in every day, that's going to be good. It's going to be very good. In addition to then other workouts that we'll be doing at night. Like, we'll definitely still be going to the gym 2 times a week to throw the weights around. And then I want to do some other types of cardio at home. Maybe only 1 high intensity per week, because in general, as long as I'm staying active and burning calories, burning off more than I'm taking in, I'll hopefully get to where I want to go. Yeah, it's funny. The last time I did the Asylum workout was way back in 2011, 2012, I think, when my wife was deployed in Afghanistan. And I loved the diet plan that I was on. I ate 5 times a day, but I only ate about 300 calories per pop. So I was only taking in about 1,500 calories, and I was never tired, and I was never sore. Obviously, I was, a decade younger. But I was in great shape and ended up getting great results off of that. So we shall see. All right, we're about halfway home. I'll switch gears to something that I did want to talk about. I was thinking about it when I was taking the kids to school. I had a work meeting before we left, and it's so funny because I feel like it happens every time I have a morning meeting, which may be twice a month, right? On mornings when I have a work morning meeting, my wife is on her Peloton, the kids are getting ready for school, eating breakfast. But for some reason, when I have a meeting, everybody's like 10 times louder, and there's 10 times as much noise. So I have my microphone on mute, thank God. But I got my wife in the background on her Peloton, and when she's going through a tougher part of the workout, she starts to groan. Like if you're in the gym and you hear guys, you hear that. That's somebody working hard. Well, she does the same thing when she's on her Peloton. You hear, and it's like that loud. And if I would have had my mic on, people would have been like, hey, Jackass, everything all right over there? They probably would have thought I was watching porn. And then the kids, for some reason, were extra loud. My son, he's going to take out something to the recycling, slams the door going out, slams the door coming back in. My stepdaughter, who is normally not that loud at all, my stepson and wife are the ones who are the loudest. She's like screaming, can't find her backpack, and it was on her back. Freaking hysterical. They were cracking me up. Like I said, luckily I had my mic on mute. But in the meeting, it's funny to me, and I just did it. I said, that's where I was going with this. People in a public setting, in a meeting, it's like become commonplace now, probably because of Obama, maybe. The amount of times that he would say and in his speeches. Although, don't get me wrong, as a figurehead, guy did a great job. As a president, not so much. But as a figurehead, as a CEO, as a public relations guy, he was great. I really enjoyed listening to his speeches, but I didn't like his policies. So that whole thing about doing uhs and ums when you're speaking, trying to find the words that you want to say. Like I said, if I do it myself, but I try not to. Particularly on a podcast, this is actually really good for me to practice that. Instead of go instead of doing that, one of the things that I learned in public speaking is just to find a conjunction and elongate it. For example, I'll be talking and just elongating that conjunction as the next thought is forming in my head and how I want to phrase it. So I'm in the meeting with my team, like it's a division-wide team. So there's like 50 people in the meeting, 50, 60 people, and everybody who had to report on something. It's like, dude, just relax, gather your thoughts, and then speak. My manager, God bless him, I like him as a manager, but as a public speaker, man, holy shit. He gets in there to introduce the meeting, and he'll actually get to a point where the uhs and the ums just get repetitive like a stone skipping across water. He'll try to say something and then formulate how I just did it. Did you hear that? He'll try to say something and then formulate how he wants to phrase it the best, but his mind is working at the same time that words are still trying to come out of his mouth. So he gets into the stone skipping ums where he just goes and it's like 4 or 5 repetitive ones, and I'm like, holy God. It's tough to listen to. But for those who see, and there's the conjunction, but it's certainly a challenging skill, being able to communicate effectively without losing or annoying your audience with non sequiturs. Is that what they're called? Or nonsense phrases. Like I said, Adam, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm perfect and that I don't do it, because I know that I do. After I record these podcasts, I listen to them before I upload them to YouTube for my 2 podcast listeners. But it's a nice skill to practice and a good thing to learn, just to have those ideas in mind of elongating conjunctions before moving on to your next thought. One of the challenging things for me when I'm doing this is I'm trying to maintain a stream of thought, but also I got to watch the road so I don't get in an accident too as well, you know. So that sometimes might take me to an situation. Excuse me. Oh, a couple of hiccups. I don't think I had a big yawn this morning. You know why? I'm going to tell you why. Oh yeah, buddy. Because I told my wife this last night. I was talking about sleep again. And she has recognized that my sleep patterns have improved drastically over the past couple of years compared to the last couple of years. So I told her last night, I said, one of the things that I have to do, one of the things I have to work on is, if I do wake up in the middle of the night, to try to go back to sleep, to try to train my body to go back to sleep. Because the night before, I think we went to bed about 10 when I picked him up from the airport, maybe 10:30. And then I got up at like 3:30. Only got 5 hours. And I don't have to start work till 5:30. So last night, we went to bed at about 9. And I got up at 1:30. And I was like, fuck, 5.5 hours? Or 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. 4.5 hours. I said, fuck. And last night I got up, went to the bathroom. Hang on, I'm about to get scanned. Morning, brother. Thank you. So yeah, up at 1:30, went to the bathroom and I was like, should I stay up? And I said, no. Go back to sleep, get the rest that you need, let your body recover. Because I still needed some recovery. And I did. And I went back to bed, and then I woke up again at 3:15. So then I was like, all right, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 6 hours of sleep, fuck. Go back to sleep. And I did. And then I got up at 5, and I was like, great, perfect. So from 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got the 8 hours. It wasn't uninterrupted. That's the goal. That's the goal now for my sleep, to get that uninterrupted sleep for 7, 8, 9 hours. It wasn't. It wasn't uninterrupted, but I did get the full 8 hours, and I actually feel pretty good today. That's probably why I did not have the big yawn. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, at some point here in the near future, very near future, I'm going to have to stay up a little bit later because tax time is approaching, and I'm setting a goal for myself to have them completed before April 1st so that we know how much money we have to pay, because we have to pay taxes this year because my wife sold her house in Alabama. There's another So I want to make sure that... What was I going to say? I can't remember. I want to make sure that I continue to work on getting that uninterrupted 8 hours of sleep, while at the same time recognizing that I might have to sacrifice it in order to get the taxes done. So there it is. That's how we'll close it out today on a Thursday, which, by the way, my favorite day of the week, because it's one day closer to Friday. Friday we'll probably have pasta or pizza. Tonight we'll do the pork chops. There we go. That's how we're ending it. Have a great Thursday, everybody. I'll smell you tomorrow.